Okay, we're going to go ahead with post 1. This seat is for election with the incumbent. Harold Herndon was not able to be here with us this evening, and his challenger is Jack Taylor. So, Mr. Taylor, we'll let you start with your opening statement. You have 2 minutes.
That's all I've got is 2 minutes to solve the problems of the world. Are you as happy to be here as I am? You know, we look at this little city election, we think it's not that important, but this is where it all begins. It begins right here and it works itself through government. Everybody wants change. All I've heard since I started this was change. I want to see a change. Change is sitting in the audience today. You want to change? This is how you make it. Who am I? I'm Jack Taylor. I was raised by a reconnaissance Marine. I moved to this country in 1972, went to Murphy High School. I've been here since then, on and off, and I didn't have to go away for work. I've not attended a lot of council meetings. I don't have to. I can read it in the newspaper about every other week. You know, I wonder, and I sat at home, and nobody in their right mind would want to get into this thing. This is a mess. You know, my daddy used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Folks, it's broke. It needs to be fixed. The people that are suffering are the people sitting down here in the audience. I live in downtown Blue Ridge. I remember what it was when I got here in 2008. I see what it is now. I don't like it. So why I'm here? I don't like it. If not me, who? Somebody has to stand up for the folks here. I've got a background in law enforcement. I handle problems all the time. This is what we did. The sheriff can tell you that if he's still in the building. It's a job that requires tact. But you know, I was with the NRA for years. I was the chairman of the Mountain Patriots here for years, and I'm going to tell you what I told them. The strongest word in the English language today, if you mean it, is no. It's time to say no. And I guess that's why I'm here. Glad I caught you. Thank you.
Okay, we have a couple of questions that we'd like for you to respond to.
Yes, sir.
The first one is, what is your motivation for running for this office?
Because it has to be fixed. The people in this city are suffering. They're suffering with a lack of regard for what needs to be done for those folks, you folks. For Grandma Betty that's on the hill, what are we doing for her? How are we helping her? We can't even get a decision made. It's like a bad movie. We have to have some honest people with integrity that want to help the people to get out here and help the people. And as you can probably already tell, I'm pretty straightforward and straight up. You'll either like me or hate me, but I can promise you one thing. The only promise I'll make you is that each and every one of you that live inside the city limits will be involved in every decision I make. First and foremost, not for me, for you. Because we serve by the people, for the people. We govern the people. But we don't tell them what to do. We don't make crazy laws. We should be able to use our downtown park. We should be able to use anything that we want to use in the city because it belongs to us. This is our country. The last time I checked, it's still the United States of America, and there should be freedom here. To be governed is one thing. To be ruled is something entirely different. And I think a lot of the things that have been done in the last 12 years, some of them have been ridiculous, and they need to be changed. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question. Do you support the current architectural guidelines for the city? And if not, how should they be changed?
Not familiar with the architectural guidelines of the city. As I said before, when I moved into Blue Ridge here in 2008, I've been here most of my life since I was young. in this area. I remember Blue Ridge being a quaint little town like Murphy was. I watched Murphy explode. I watched land prices get out of, to a common person couldn't even afford to live in it. And I see the same thing happening here. Again, Grandma Betty on the Hill, what are we doing for her? Architectural, I think the city has to grow. I think the city's going to grow because we got a beautiful town. But I don't want to lose our hometown values. So to specifically answer your question, I don't know what the architectural plan is for the city. But I think it needs to be monitored very much. And it needs to be informed decisions on how we grow, to what length we grow, and to a time frame of when we grow. And I've heard a lot of people talk about our infrastructure. You know, we can only grow so much. We don't want to overgrow. I think that's where we're at now. I live in the city. I live on East Main Street. I've seen it. I've seen the places you couldn't park downtown. I've seen the folks couldn't go downtown and buy a hamburger. You know, I don't know how much more we need to grow to keep our small town charm, but to also serve the citizens of the city.
And here's the final question. How do you plan to support businesses in the city of Blue Ridge?
We have to support the businesses along with our community, the citizens of the city. I'm a business owner. I own 2 businesses, and I do well. I want every business to do well. Again, we live in America. This is a free country. You should be able to have a business. You should be able to run your business without persecution. I'm 100% for business. But I think we need to balance the business with the citizenry here, so that we're not putting more emphasis on business, less emphasis on our citizens, or vice versa. So my plan would be to monitor the growth, to help the businesses succeed, to do what's necessary for them, but also to do what the citizens of the city need to succeed as well.
All right, thank you. And finally, we'll have your 2-minute closing statement.
I think I've already said everything I need to say, folks. You know, I'll tell you a story. When I moved into this area, I remember driving down the road, and these guys, you'd ride by them, and they'd have their hands on the steering wheel. And they'd throw their fingers up at you, and I thought, that's the craziest thing I ever seen. That was your neighbors saying hi. And you know what? I don't look out here in the crowd and see enemies. We shouldn't be on the city council and see enemies. We're all neighbors, and we're all friends. I can remember times I was called away from the house to dig graves for families by hand that didn't have the money to dig those graves, to put their loved ones to rest. Those were times when neighbors got together. And man, this is neighbors helping neighbors. It ain't a battle. We need to leave our egos at home and do what's best for the city. It shouldn't be about ego. It should be about neighbors helping neighbors. So I guess that's all I need to say. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the chamber for letting this happen. I appreciate your vote if that's what you want to do. Thank you very much. And you folks have a blessed day.
All right, so we'll take a brief break, and we will have our 2 candidates for mayor. We have incumbent Donna Whitener and Rhonda Hay. Give us just a minute.